2018, and I'm going to walk through the woods, and hopefully I won't get eaten alive by these deliberately planted, probably AIDS-carrying mosquitoes. Which, if God wants me to die of AIDS, I guess that's what'll happen. So I'm just not going to worry about it. Today I want to talk about the International Monetary Fund. Today I went to court and I told the judge that I do not consent to this trial. My attorney nudged me and said, no, we want to plead not guilty. I said, no, sir, I do not consent. I said, matter of fact, I would like to subrogate my equity. In other words, I want to manage my own debt that the state has created based on a phony, fictional warrant for my arrest. A fictional claim that I committed 2 felonies. I said, Your Honor, I said, there was a guy perpetrating a crime on my property at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I got up to defend myself. Oh, that's going to be trial. That's going to be trial. I deny your subrogation. Okay. So guess what you hear on the news today? The world stage, right, says that International Monetary Fund needs more money. Right? So what does that mean? Hell, Louisiana has almost every freaking citizen. And when you go to court in Louisiana, they've got giant parking lots. And they got big old everything's full. People are standing out. It's like a concert, okay? And they're waiting to get in line so that they can racketeer on the International Monetary Fund of these slaves that don't know anything about life. It's sickening. So what happens, IMF says we need more money. And the United States is sitting at the top of debt. Right? And if a person like myself that's filed the proper forms, UCC forms, I've separated from my straw man, I don't work for the government, I don't have a driver's license, and I never will. I am not the straw man, I am the living person. I manage my own vessel. The judge denies it. So what do? You got to file criminal charges against the judge. You're denying subrogation? You're denying me that I don't consent to some state saying that, hey, I would like to file a debt against Mr. Wust for a crime that he didn't commit? You're telling the state is going against Constitution saying that I can't defend myself? So I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, some guys with a weapon here, and what is it? What do they do? This was deliberately done. This was staged. Matter of fact, 2 days before this incident, a little girl came to my house, which was a rental property. And I guess the psyops thought I lived back there. Okay? So they sent this little girl to my house, 13 years old. That's what the letter said anyway, that I got from a statement from my renter. And the little girl had her legs all cut up, according to these people. And she was lost in the woods. Bullshit. She was on drugs, number one. Psychotropic drugs, by the way. That's what I was told. I was told that her own mother was on drugs. If I wouldn't have rented that property and I was living there and I would have answered that door, that girl would have said I raped her. So I wouldn't be on trial for, defending myself from a crazy lunatic with a military-style weapon. No. Like what happened to me last night. They tasered my dog. Okay? I wouldn't be on trial for that. I'm not a test subject for Obama's mind mapping project and psychotropic warfare. I'm not a test subject for a corporation that's decided to, become the military and say, hey, if we can if we can experiment on our employees, then we can sell military information and the military will buy the information and we'll make billions. Yay. And then they treat us like a bunch of fucking test rats. Yeah, I'm cursing, guys. The second thing is when you go to court, as soon as you walk up to the court, they've got Tesla technology, psychotropic warfare going on in those courtrooms to where everybody feels anxiety, stress. It dumbs people down when you feel anxiety, guys. Makes you stupid. I walked away from the building, boom, the stress and the anxiety went away. I walked to the building, boom, anxiety, stress. It's like you're having a heart attack. Can't hardly breathe. They're hitting you with psychotropic warfare. Same way that they get the tenant to kill themselves. I had a tenant that hung himself. Same way that they got my daughter to be so depressed that she would date some freaking loser that would wind up killing her and overdosing her with heroin. And of course she had symptoms of tachycardia, lupus, fibromyalgia. Couldn't tell what was wrong with her. The doctor's not going to admit it. And what happens when you say these things? The courtroom laughs at you. You judge, the attorney nudges you. No. Don't do that. My job is to make sure that, the Christians are crucified. Release Barabbas, Hillary Clinton and Barack, and kill the people, the humans. My attorney even said, well, you're a person. I said, no, I'm not a person. I'm actually human. Person is it's a purse sitting on a ship. It's inventory. It's a manifest. I'm not a manifest. You can't even get people to represent you or defend you. The people that represent you, defend you, are talking to the deep state operatives, getting money on the side, and favors, and all kind of things. And right now, my attorney just sold me as a debt to Louisiana. And I'm telling you, his son will probably get promoted to the district attorney for that. Because let me tell you, these psychopaths are targeting, that is Satan's court, no question in my mind about it. You cannot make a law above God's law. I'm going to say it again. No law could be made above God's law. How do you do that? State of Louisiana has violated my right to bear arms. They have illegally searched and sieged my house. Now they have illegally, against the judge's submission, will not let me manage my own debt. And that's me as my debt. So, in other words, the state says, this. Let me just try to explain it to people who don't understand this. The state is saying that if I commit a felony, then they're going to create a debt. And they're going to manage the debt. Well, I said, no, I want to manage the debt. Subrogation. They say, no, we're going to let the state manage the debt. Well, I said, well, I filed my forms and I've separated myself from that. The judge wasn't laughing. He knew exactly what I was talking about. I mean, hell, they're part of a high-level satanic secret society, posing as pillars of the society, ravenous wolves in sheep's clothing. I don't even know what to say. Even the lawyers pose as pillars as doctors that don't know what's in the pills and vaccines. They're posing as pillars of the society, and they're killing people. The doctors are killing more people than anybody on planet Earth. So are the prisons and the judges and now they're trying to talk the police into, the police themselves are managing the International Monetary Fund. That's why their salaries are going way off the charts. The more in debt the United States are, the more money that the police make. So if you want to make money as a cop, All you have to do is go to a country that is in severe international monetary debt, which the United States sits at the top of the list, and you will make $200,000 as a state trooper. You'll get $100,000 salary, then you'll get another $100,000 from George Soros or Hillary Clinton, whoever else is sitting at the top of the throne of this satanic agenda to kill everybody on the planet, put everybody in debt, kill our food supply, ruin the trees, have no air to breathe, put up 5G so we can't, to where even the oxygen molecule is manipulated by 60 hertz. Put poison in your food. No wonder these people are flocking to the courts. Hey, I'm ready to be processed by the International Monetary Fund, and they can't even walk. So they're so crippled by poison. They're just like, I am of the living. No, you're not. You're dead. These courts claim that you're dead. You're a dead vessel. You're not competent to manage your own International Monetary Fund, your own debt. So therefore, the state is more competent than you are. I assure you that I'm more competent than the state to manage my debt. So the state of Louisiana is not even recognizing the UCC1, UCC3, or any, not even having driver's license, nothing. Not even, let me tell you, I don't even own an address, guys. I don't have an address. I'm not homeless, but I don't have an address, and I will not have an address. And I know what I'm doing, and I refuse to have an address. I'm telling you. Because they can claim that you live in our jurisdiction. Therefore, we have jurisdiction over your International Monetary Fund. Sickening. It's disgraceful. And there is nothing going to stop this. Not even... war won't stop this. War makes it worse. How do you wake up people that are so willing to betray anyone, anywhere, at any time, for money? Because, hell, the International Monetary Fund, hell, they'll give a few dollars to your sister, your brother, your aunt, your uncle. You know, hey, can you betray him and coerce him, make him look like he's nuts in the family, to where everybody thinks he's nuts and nobody listens to him, even though he's the one that was the most successful in the whole family. By far. No one even come close to my success. I even had a sister tell me today that, I said, well, I worked in banking, understand how debt and all this stuff works. You never worked in banking. I lived in California for 12 years. I worked in automotive finance for 12 years. I was selling loans to bankers. I was on the phone all day long with Nemac, Ford, all day. So I am not in banking? What? A car dealership itself. If you're a car salesman, you're in banking. Because you're doing processing loans and debts. So you could be a car salesman. You're in banking. Matter of fact, a judge is in banking, because bench in Latin means bank, by the way. Well, it's not Latin, it's actually German, by the way. And then even in Italy, it means bank. Italian, it means bank. Well, Italy, Italian. And even French, it means banco, or something like that. It means bank. So the judge is a banker. The lawyer is a banker. You're not in banking. Oh, so what? I got to work at Capital One, be a teller in order to be in banking? These people don't get it. You don't get it. Every human being living on the face of this earth, even if they don't work in banking, are in banking because they are the asset. The signature is what they're trading on the New York Stock Exchange. You're all in banking, and you don't know it. 1933, that's when Jesus died, by the way. They said that because of war, we need some money. So the birth certificates, the driver's license, the marriage license, all these permits, permission, passports. This is court systems. It's all banking. A world of that, how can I explain it? How can I make it so simple? Okay, you take a human being, put a dollar sign on them, okay, and it's a big one. And then throughout their life, you racketeer on that money. And if the person doesn't, how can I say this? Let's say the person doesn't want to conform to their banking. What do? They stage arrests. And they say, okay, well, the state needs at least, what, a couple of $1 million out of this guy's International Monetary Fund. They satisfy, they create a debt, they bring you to court, then they throw you in prison or in a psycho ward, and they subtract on a regular basis from that debt. Insanity. Now, my attorney allowed me to say that I am innocent or not guilty. And when I said, look, all I wanted to say was, I don't consent. I don't see a signed statement. I don't see a complaint. I've never even read it. I went to file charges against this guy. The police omitted the evidence. But I've got to say I'm guilty or not guilty to what? That's why I said I don't consent. I don't even know what I'm guilty or not guilty of. I mean, it's fucking crazy. First they claim I had 2 felonies. Then I heard that they backed down the charges. Now I don't know. I'm guilty or not. What am I guilty of? What am I not guilty of? They won't even tell you. So I'm going to claim that the courts did not show me a written signed statement from a complaint that the state or the DA cannot file a complaint. And I'm going to go get that complaint myself. Okay? And I'll bring recording, hidden recording, pocket recording, and I will bring witnesses. Guys, we got to keep fighting. Because you're fighting for your life. There will be nothing left on this earth. Pretty soon, they're going to claim that the tree is in debt to the IMF. And it broke a law. Wait a minute, Mr. Tree, did you grow a limb? You weren't supposed to grow a limb here. You have to go 4 feet above. I'm sorry, Mr. Tree, but we are going to have to process you in our court systems. Right? When really all you got to do is say, okay, well, let's get rid of the tree limbs so that the tree can grow healthy and doesn't use all of its energy on these lower limbs, and that way it can reach for the sun and it can live healthy. So instead of being a shepherd of the tree, the tree becomes our debtor. It's crazy. I'm just trying to explain this to people. So instead of helping people, we claim that they're a debt. And if that's not the definition of insanity, I don't know what is, guys. All right, much love. PsyOps, please get off my channel and allow for freedom of speech.